Hey, YouTube. So, good morning. It's 10 o'clock on the 29th. Project Batman resumes. So, alright, I'll just get into the technical details for this morning. First of all, still haven't showered. Back in the Bat Cave. Let's see. That was the first thing I had to do. Didn't realize that I switched over to Route 53 on Amazon Web Services for DNS, and my email got interrupted and it was out for a couple days, and I didn't realize that I forgot to switch over the mail servers to the new server, so fixed that this morning. Give you kind of a technical breakdown, high level technical kind of breakdown. So we're hosting the site on AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and it has a whole bunch of technical services that you can use, all named different things. So what we're using right now is EC2, which is Elastic Computing. That's the web server. So that holds Project Batman's website. Then we've got RDS, which is the Relational Database Services. That holds the database. And then Route 53, which is the domain name services. So that tells you when you go to projectbatman.com where to go, how to get to our web server. And it handles all of the DNS or domain name registry, domain name services. So all of that kind of routing kind of stuff. And when I switched over the DNS entries for the domain, I forgot to switch over the mail server entries. So did that, got my email working again this morning, thankfully. I don't know what I missed the last couple days. I'm waiting for some feedback from the attorney on some corporate stuff. And hopefully I didn't miss anything there. It has been slow. It's been the holidays, so hopefully that didn't get impacted. So today I'm going to be testing out some contract work that I had done for importing of data into Project Batman. Had to have some custom, pretty technical stuff done coding-wise to get data from these outside sources into the database. And there's a lot of sources of information that's going to go into Project Batman from the outside, mostly from public domain places for data sets. And some of them are rather large, like 600,000 entries for one data set, and then one complete data set is about 2 million entries. And that's just one. So at the end of the day, we'll probably have around 12 to 14 million entries that we're refreshing on a regular basis within Project Batman. So that's why we're using AWS or Amazon Web Services, because it's scalable on demand. So after we get all of the 14 million different records in the database, we're going to expand into something called Solr, S-O-L-R, which is a platform that sits on top of the database. So you have the website, and usually the website talks to the database and gets information and brings it back. And Solr sits in the middle of that, so the website will go to Solr, and then Solr will have the index of all of the stuff that's in the database. It's much, much faster, and you can have what's called faceted searches. So like when you go on Amazon, like on the left side, you see narrow it down by like shoe size or color, things like that. Those are facets of a search. And so since search is a super important part of Project Batman, we're implementing that Solr level there. So that's why we're using AWS, really. That's why we're using EC2, which is the big Amazon web services, so that we can have that Solr layer. So today, I'm hoping to get some help connecting the web server to the database. There's something going on there where it's not working, and I'm hoping to get a little technical expertise to make that work. And then the next step will be get that Solr level implemented, which shouldn't be that difficult once we're talking to the database to implement the Solr, and then that's kind of the last big architecture piece for Project Batman. And then from then on, it's a lot of functionality work that's going to have to be done. So we'll be bringing in all of those 20 million different records in the background at the same time that we're working on the functionality parts, like how things should look, which is called UI and UX, user interface, user experience. We'll be working on those kinds of things and how the website actually functions and how the users interact with the website while those imports are going on. And then once we have the database fully filled out with all this data, it'll automatically update. Well, some of it will automatically update, some of it's going to be good old-fashioned grind and work. But that'll be much less work to do rather than getting the whole 20 million records in there all at one time. So by launch, we'll have the 20 million records, and then we'll have all the UI UX stuff done. And then Amazon, if we're getting more traffic, if we're growing like we hope to, and the traffic picks up and the demand picks up, then Amazon will automatically scale it and make it bigger or smaller based on the demand, which is really cool about Amazon. It's a little bit more expensive. I think we're going to end up paying in the neighborhood of about $150 a month just for the platform itself. But that auto-scaling feature really just relieves a lot of pressure for me as the only person really working on Project Batman right now to worry about server administration and stuff like that. So today is going to be all about making that connection between the platform and the database, and then doing some testing on the import scripts that were just delivered yesterday. And as soon as we can make that connection, then we can start the imports and move on to the next tasks. So another part of, and this is the fun part of being an entrepreneur. So this right here, this is what's left of the year's receipts that are in paper. And then there's another, probably at least that much in digital form and email receipts and stuff like that that all have to be entered into year-end accounting for tax purposes. It's the end of the year right now. So by January, middle of January, I hope to have all that accounting done and be ready to file taxes shortly thereafter. We use something called FreshBooks. We have a couple different business things going on. We have a consulting company, then we have some real estate investments, and all of those things all have to be kind of brought together. So we use a thing called FreshBooks, which is super easy, pretty simple. It's not like QuickBooks. It's real, just user-friendly and easy to do. So for right now, for a one-person show, FreshBooks is definitely the ticket. It's like, I don't know, $7 or $10 a month, something like that. Not bad. So anyway, it's time to get to work and get some of this infrastructure stuff done. Now that my email is working again, and get to work. Here I am back in the Batcave, and one of these days I'm going to give you a tour of the Batcave. Right here, though, just so you can see, this is a bench that folds down, and there's a big window here, another big window over there, and above me is a bed that comes down. But anyway, I'll give you a tour of the Batcave eventually. Here's one of the things that's going to go on my wall today. It might be backwards for you. Provides circular value and everything. So what that means is, oh, maybe I shouldn't have put that up there. What that means is that any product or service that we put on Project Batman has to have value for the company and value for the user and value for the participants. So within Project Batman, there are two different things. There's businesses and people that we're facilitating a connection between. So we gotta make sure that we have value for the businesses that participate and the users that participate and the company. And that's what I call circular value. So that's going on the wall today. We're having a good day. And hi to, I don't know, everybody. See you later.